Good morning. It is Monday, November 30th, and it's time for a garden update. The temperature is 48 degrees right now. It's already dropped about 7 degrees since this morning, and it's dropping fast. It's supposed to be 27 overnight. So I've got to get out here and put some row covers over my beets and maybe some lettuce. They can take the cold, but they'll do better if I keep them covered. So I'm going to do that today. And I'm just going to give my usual garden update to show you what's happening in November. I've moved all my plants under cover. Hopefully that'll do the trick to keep them from getting harmed by the 2 nights of below freezing that we're expecting. And we're going to have to say goodbye to our elephant ears. More plants that are brought under cover. The canna, we'll say goodbye to it. Goodbye, canna. The rosemary will be fine, as will the bay. You can see that the fig has lost almost all of its leaves. And there's a couple of fruits. I may have to go see if I can eat those. The parsley will be fine, as will the sage. Not sure about the oregano. More sage, more rosemary. The chickens got over here in this bed and kind of cleaned it out, which might be a good thing. And they ate my ornamental cabbage. Plums and pansies. Cinnamon basil. The chickens did not bother the purple cabbage, which is kind of interesting. Hello, Ivory. The chickens are free-ranging today, not by choice. We just returned from a trip to Mississippi for Thanksgiving, and we let the chickens roam while we're away. You can see that there are still several loofah gourds hanging, but not yet dry, and that most of the vines were killed by the soft frost that we got. But there's still some green vines, but because of the freeze tonight, I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these off and take them to the garage to dry. So there's the harvest. I'm going to have so many loofah gourd seeds. If anybody out there wants any, just comment below. We'll get in touch. There is a rose. I'm going to cut it and bring it inside too. My volunteer Tabasco is doing very well. And it was last year that I grew these and the year before. And I have so many preserved that I don't need to harvest any. This is the winter radish. It has grown and it is looking so healthy. This one up front is looking good. I think I will pull it just to show you. They get much larger than that. You see the pink root? Let me cut it and show you what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to wash this one off and take it inside and enjoy it. These loofahs are very prolific. There is a bloom and a little baby still producing. November 30th. Wow. The cinnamon basil continues to bloom. It will get killed tonight in the frost, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. My first apple tree is dying back on its central leader. You can see here all this dead, and the discoloration goes all the way to about right here. So I'm going to actually have to cut this off and hope that it'll send up a new leader. I think the other branches are very healthy and will hopefully produce some fruit in the summer. The strawberries are doing well, and I really need to cover those with pine straw before this cold snap tonight. And this is parsley. I could harvest again and dehydrate more. Maybe I should. I had a very good crop of parsley this year. And that's my little tiny pear tree that got planted late. It sent up 1 liter, which I'm going to have to notch and knock over and under to get it to send up more shoots. Just have to wait and see how it does in the spring. And this is a pear tree, and it's doing very well. And then the second apple tree here, also looking very good and healthy. I have an empty row here where there were Martin peas earlier this month and last month. I cut all those out. I got about 2 harvests off of them. And here is a row of, it's a combination of beets and winter density lettuce. Because the beets, I plant them and they don't ever do super great. I do have a few. And in the empty spots, I just transplanted some extra head lettuces. There's a tiny little tomato that's going to die tonight. I am going to cover this row. All right, got that done. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pull the marigolds out. There's a few here, and you can also see where I cut out the Martin peas in this row too. I see the chickens got in my garden while we were gone. They ate my cabbage leaves and the winter radish that they could reach. Yeah, that's bound to happen. Well, I'll take it from them in eggs. And something has been getting in here and eating my cabbages. It's not chickens. I think that we have a rabbit because I've been seeing rabbit droppings in the yard. So here's a few mustard green. That's probably turnip. I sowed turnip and mustard. There's a little cabbage. Yeah. This little cabbage is coming along okay, but you can see that the leaves have been eaten. This one's been eaten. And I need to weed around them. There's so much chickweed. And I'll cut some zinnias to take in the house because those will die tonight as well. Chickweed I'll give to the chickens. More chickweeds for the chickens. So this row at least looks a little better. You can see the little baby cabbages and some of the collards and turnips. Down here I planted some mixed lettuce. Most of the seeds did not germinate, but then I have these tall, it looks like broadleaf mustard, not sure. Along the back fence I sowed some mustard, some very old seed. They germinated, but then they stopped growing. This is on the south side and the fence blocks the sun, so I don't think that they'll do anything. I put those extra onions that I had left over right here at the end of the asparagus row. The asparagus has mostly dried back, but I won't cut it down until it's completely dried. But you can see all the chickweed underneath. I'm going to save that job for December. Thanks, Rooster. So all the way down, lots of chickweed. A couple more zinnias hiding here and there. Winter radish. Looking very good, and you can see where the chickens got through. Obviously they like the greens very much. They stuck their heads through and ate all the greens they could. This empty row here was the last row of Martin peas. Where they had not germinated, I sowed mustard. That's coming up real nice. And then on the end of my sweet potato row, I had sown some mustard. They're looking good. The row that was sweet potatoes, I planted in garlic. You can see those coming up, I think. Slow down just a little bit. I counted, but I can't remember. Seems like it was about 75 or 80 garlics. So this is the carrot row. It was originally parsnips. So there's a parsnip, and then carrots that are growing and looking good. The cold will not hurt them. They'll stop growing, but on the warm days they'll continue to grow. There's a parsnip. There's another nice parsnip. They really liked it down here on this end. I'd like to say that's a broccoli, but it may be a collard. There's a few turnip greens and mustard greens mixed, probably collard. All my broccolis died. I don't know what happened. I think a rabbit ate them. Martin onions are flourishing. The muscadine has gone to sleep. And in my last video, I sowed those white onion bulbs next to the carrots. And among the beets, you can see a few little baby beets. There's the onions. They're doing very, very good. All the way down to the end. I will do my usual panorama from here. A final bouquet of beautiful zinnias to enjoy last of the season. Thanks for watching.